This is George Cholos from AGORACOM and AGORACOM TV reporting live from the Cambridge Conference in Toronto in the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. With me today is Ian Saunders, President and CEO of New Dawn Mining, trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the stock symbol ND, has had some significant results that we want to talk about. Ian, welcome to the show.
Thanks, George. How are you? Good to see you again.
Last quarter, differentiating you from most of the junior companies here, you reported $2.85 million in US dollar revenue. That's from production of about 3,100 ounces plus of gold. Talk to us a little bit about the current state of production in gold that you have and where the company's going in the future.
Thanks, George. Oh, those were great results. We thought this is our first full quarter after starting up with the great changes in Zimbabwe. We see the next quarter pretty much a similar revenue to that, and quarters after that much more. What is actually quite important though is that was at a cash cost of around $500 an ounce, and on a consolidated basis after backing out our South African write-down, we were actually profitable on an earnings perspective of about 2 cents. So it's good. Things are coming together well.
And you recently announced that you're now at annualized, or by October you'll be at an annualized production rate of 14,000 ounces of gold. Does it end there? Is that where the company's capping out, or is there more growth that you're looking at into the future?
No, George, there's definitely a lot of growth. This is what's exciting about New Dawn. In fact, what's happened is that when we get back to the 14,000, 15,000 ounce mark, we're then back to where we were in 2007 from a capacity utilization perspective. But over the last couple of years, while Zimbabwe was unwinding, we reinvested a lot of money into property, plant and equipment, and we actually have installed mills, crushing plants and hoists to get us to 22,000 to 23,000 ounces with little or no more capital. And when we do that, our cash costs will come down from the 500 tending towards the 450 mark, and we'll be very, very cash generative. Thereafter, we've got a 4-year growth program out of internally generated cash flow to get us to 35,000 to 50,000 ounces. And that's just one leg of our growth story in Zimbabwe.
So let's talk a little bit. You've mentioned Zimbabwe a couple of times, and the first reaction sometimes from investors when you talk about Africa and a small country like Zimbabwe is that you're inheriting a lot of political risk, and maybe investors thinking that's a discount to the true value of the company. What's happened in Zimbabwe lately that should give investors a lot of security about making an investment there?
Well, since the early part of the year, the main thing that's happened is there's a government of national unity in place. The former opposition party now controls the parliament. So the ability for the former ruling party under Mugabe to pass any egregious laws has been reduced. But importantly, on the economic front, we can market our gold outside the borders of the country. The Zimbabwe dollar, which used to be written about much in billions of percent inflation, is being demonetized. We now trade in United States dollars. So in a reducing political risk environment, we now have a very much reduced economic risk environment, and the social situation is great. So we think that Zimbabwe is starting to offer a unique investment opportunity.
And you touched on something important there, that you now are not limited by where you can sell your gold and receive dollars in U.S. currency anymore, right? You can sell the gold outside of the borders and get paid in U.S. dollars.
Yep. We do that, and we do it with 30 loads of gold basically left to Zimbabwe since April of this year through different producers without any hitches. So we're pretty confident about the system, and it's here to stay. And
if I remember correctly, that was actually the Federal Reserve or the federal banking authorities in Zimbabwe that made that change about 6 months ago?
That's right, yeah.
Is it fair to say that story isn't out there yet to the public, so this is actually an early opportunity for investors, A, to know about Zimbabwe's favorable policies now, and B, to learn about New Dawn Mining as you're actually producing and generating real revenue from real gold sales?
I think it's important that everybody understands that the history of Zimbabwe mining. I mean, there's over 40 different minerals that have been mined, and it's basically the Pandora's box, or actually Aladdin's treasure trove in Zimbabwe. And what we're seeing is that if you're a company like New Dawn that's been there for 12 to 13 years, understands that I still live there, my family lives there, you've got first mover advantage. We've got first mover advantage, and investment in New Dawn is first mover advantage into Zimbabwe.
And I should disclose this like we always do, New Dawn is an AGORACOM client, but as always, we just don't talk about clients on AGORACOM TV unless the facts and the numbers stand on their own 2 feet, and it's hard to argue with $2.8 million in revenue for a quarter, 3,122 ounces of gold produced, and production on the way up as you've announced. So I really want to thank you for taking the time to share the message with investors who could not be in Toronto or be at this Cambridge conference and now can finally find out about the company firsthand.
Thank you, George, and we look forward to updating all our investors on the New Dawn side of the AGORACOM hub in the coming months. It's going to only be getting better.
This has been Ian Saunders, President and CEO of New Dawn Mining, trades on the stock symbol ND. That's on the big board, the Toronto Stock Exchange. To find out more information about the company, go to AGORACOM, punch in the company's name or stock symbol. You can ask questions, get answers from the company, review their webcast, and all sorts sorts of helpful information. Good investing to you. Have a great day. Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, George, and you have a great day too.
Bye-bye.